Okay, so in this fourth video in the Scorpion tutorial series, we're going to go ahead and refine the walk. We've got the walk working reasonably well. The head's kind of rotating from side to side, but you can see that these claws, the screen left claw and the screen right claw, are very, very stiff. So what we want to do is start to add some flexibility here. So I'm going to select the IK handle on this right hand claw. Remember that if you select this thing here, you can switch to FK if you want to. By typing 10 in the channel box here, I can reveal the FK controls, and that would allow me to animate the controls from the top of the hierarchy. But I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to set the IK FK switcher to 1, and I'm going to use this IK handle here, which I think is going to be quicker and simpler. Now, if I look at the motion of the Scorpion, let's just click on the head control there and hit A. Let me make sure that infinity curves are turned on. View infinity there. You can see that the head is moving, is sort of pointing towards screen right at frame 1, and then points towards screen left at frame 9, and then back towards screen right at frame 17. So what we want the claw to do is to be slightly opposing that action. So I'm just going to set a keyframe at frame 1, and then as the head of the Scorpion moves towards screen left, I want this claw to move slightly to screen right. And then again at frame 9, as that head moves towards screen left, I want that claw moving slightly to the right. And now as the head of the Scorpion moves to the right, I want that claw moving slightly to screen left. So it's opposing the motion of the head. And then again at frame 17, I'll just move that slightly over. Now, if I hit A here in the graph editor, we'll see that 1 and 17 are different. So I'm going to middle mouse drag 17 over to 1 and hit S. So now we can see that that X translation curve, which is that red one there, is now the same at 1 and 17. And if I just press play, okay, it's not working very well yet, but we're going to have to clean up these curves. So I'm just going to select that, that translate X curve, and I'm going to, actually if I go back to the main node, turn on the curves, so that's curves pre-infinity cycle, curves post-infinity cycle, because remember you have to do that with every channel that you animate on. And I'm going to go back to translate X, and we can see that it's a bit bumpy here. I just open that up a little bit. You can see there's not a very nice curve we've got there. So what we want to do is select those two keyframes there, and then go to flatten tangents and flatten those off. So now we've got a more swooping curve, which is more the kind of thing that we're looking for. So now you can see in this, if you compare the motion of this claw to this claw, we've got more of a kind of, we've got more overlapping action in there. I'm still not completely loving it though, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I don't know what these keyframes are, I'm going to turn those, I'm going to delete those. I think that's the visibility. For some reason the visibility channels are keyframed when this rig gets imported. So I'm going to select all the curves and I'm going to offset them by 2 frames. I'm going to move them, I'm holding down the shift key and the middle mouse button. I'm going to move them 1, 2 frames just to see if that gives us, yeah, I like that more. That's giving us a little bit of an offset. When you've got infinity curves turned on, you can always offset these curves and you can just experiment, try moving them the other way and just see what looks the nicest. Generally speaking, what we want is for the, as the head turns to screen right, we want a little bit of overlap on the claw. So that's giving us something reasonably attractive there. So I'm quite liking that. Now I'm going to do the same for the other claw. So I'm going to select that one there, delete all of these keyframes, not sure why they're there. Hit S, delete the other keyframes. Hit A, okay, so we've now just got keyframes at frame 1. So now again, the head is moving, is started at the head at frame 5 is starting to move to screen right. So, sorry, the head is starting to move towards screen left. So we want the claw moving to screen right. And frame 9, the head is moving to screen left. So again, we want the claw moving to screen right. 13, the head is starting to move to screen right. So we want the claw moving towards screen left, opposing the motion. And then the same at frame 17. Claw to screen left. Hit A in the graph editor, see what we've done. And again, I'm going to middle mouse drag 17 to frame 1 so that those two are the same. Then I'm going to zoom out a bit. I'm going to grab all of those curves. And again, I'm going to turn on pre-infinity cycle, curves, post-infinity cycle, like that. Now I'm going to go back to that translate X curve. And I'm going to select that curve there, flatten those tangents, and let's see, I'm just going to try and make this a little bit more kind of a nice smooth sine curve, because that's generally speaking what you're looking for. Okay, so not totally loving that, but why don't we try sliding it a little bit? So why don't I'll try sliding that 2 frames. 1, 2, like I did the other one. Okay, liking that more now. Sometimes offsetting curves really helps. And you can see we've got more flexibility in there than we had before. Okay, so now we've got some flexibility in those claws. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and save that. Save it as version 6, perhaps. Yeah, I'm going to save that as version 6. I know I'm replacing a previous version, but which I don't normally do. Normally version up, but in that case, I know that's a version I want to write over. So we've now got some flexibility in the head, and now in the next video we will tackle flexibility in the tail.